You're listening to the Millennial Minute Podcast, giving this generation what they want to hear.
What is up, guys? T, did you just cut me off, bro?
Yes, gosh.
T, you just did the unforgivable.
Yeah, T, just because you're fucking famous right now doesn't mean you can talk over us, all right?
Wow.
Stay in your fucking lane.
That was part of the rules.
I feel like this is a cool, cold open to the podcast. So, hello, everyone. We hope you're staying safe and you're staying healthy. We are coming to you live from the safety of our homes because the Rona, is unfortunately still going strong.
The Rona, liar Rona,
Big Rona.
Don't say that.
La Llorona.
No, shh. No.
La Rona.
Coming tonight, La Llorona.
No.
The cuckoo is here.
No.
Anyways, let's go around and introduce the starting lineups like we did last week. All the way out in DC. DC standing for the Chibs Dad Donk. Say what up, Chibs. Say what up to the people.
DC strong.
DC. Hey, you're a Cali trader. You're not allowed back in Cali.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Presenting over there.
We're up in the Bears and the Anteaters. Shout out to UCI. We got all the way in Cali. She was way too famous for us last week. But after we exposed her for who she truly is, just
What?
the queen of TikTok, the queen of Funko Pops, coming for all of them. Say what's up to you.
What it do, baby?
What it do, baby? Coming from Cali again, we got Big Daddy Speaks with the do-rag. Say what's up to the people.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Big do-rag. We're feeling
Wave surfer out here.
Wave, sir.
riding the waves, always riding those waves.
I'm about to start posting stuff on my Instagram.
Wave rider.
Yeah, Wave Riders. Get tagged. Wave Riders, shout out to Speaks. And all the way out in Arizona, because Arizona is apparently the only state in the U.S. where you can go and you can live. Shout out to Alif Alam, our number one boy.
So during these Rona times, you will refer to me as Young Rona.
Okay, Young Rona.
And then somebody has to be my Lil Roni.
Lil Roni.
Speaks could be a little Roni.
Your favorite.
Little Roni. A little Roni, little tender Roni, little side. Young Rona, a.k.a. Alif. So speaking of Rona, you know who's hooked us up in this Rona pandemic? Productive Culture.
Shout out Productive.
Shout out Productive. If you're looking for
You
productive,
came the culture.
someone hit the ad libs while I do this ad read. All right, y'all ready?
Yes.
If you're looking for production, mixing, sound design, or just looking to start your own podcast, then
Podcast.
Productive Culture is where you need to go. They hooked us up and helped us take our podcast to the next level, and they can do the same.
Hit him with the next level.
If you've been thinking about starting your rap career or podcast, it's time to stop thinking about it and just do it. No ad lib there? Okay.
Oh,
Hey,
Let him do it.
You can do this at Productive Culture at productiveculture.com/podcast, and you can find them on Instagram at Productive Culture. Once again, that's productiveculture.com/podcast.
Hey.
That is at Productive Culture. So do yourselves a favor, get up off the sofa, get up off the couch, start that podcast, start that rap career. You only live once, people. It's time to do it.
Yeah.
The culture.
Shout out to Culture. Shout out Productive. Hey.
shout out your mama.
Yeah, your mom. Do it for the culture, TM. We're trademarking that.
We should. That's a good one.
Do it for Culture.
And we also got to give a shout out to our fellow small business owners, our Black-owned businesses. Black is King. Shout out to Beyonce for 3-Bit Games. So for those who get into video games or who like video games and comic books, 3-Bit Games is a spot you need to hit up ASAP. I don't know why you guys are waiting. Hit them up.
That.
Shout out to 3-Bit.
Do it right now. You should be in their store right now.
Yes, they buy, they sell, and they trade all games, consoles, Funko Pops, comic books, figures, trading cards. It's a one-stop shop for all your gaming and collecting needs. You can find them at 1600 East Holt Avenue, space K24 in Pomona. So all the IE locals.
Hey,
Pick up your Nintendo Switch, pick up your Xbox, your PS5s, whatever you got to do.
whatever you got to do.
Whatever you got to
You
do.
do.
You can find them on Instagram at 3-Bit Games. Once again, they're located in Pomona, 1600 East Holt Avenue, space K24. And you can find them on Instagram at the number 3
Yo,
Games.
shout out to 3-Bit.
Shout out to
We'll
3-Bit.
support Black-owned business and business owned by people of color. So once again, shout out to Productive Culture once again.
Hey,
Yes, shout out to Productive Culture. Shout out to 3-Bit. Large monetary apologies.
Large, emphasis on large.
No, we don't do
Huge.
smalls. We don't do mediums. We only do large monetary apologies. $1,000.
that extra.
That extra. So today's topic is kind of a segmented topic of what we went off last week, talking about T's rise to stardom. She's in her new Hollywood
TikTok-dom.
TikTok.
I am now a how do you say social media influencer?
She's a social media influencer. There's the way these things go. She's social media influencer. She has a rise to the top. She's gonna date a celebrity. As they develop a drug habit for the clout, and she will come crashing back down. It's just how it goes. T. We don't make.
Oh.
Like, that should be
Yeah, like by next week we're gonna find T in a rehab institute for heroin addiction.
Stop.
Oh, wow. Okay, that was oddly specific.
No.
Yeah, no, it's okay. What's this? I had David Dobrik on the call while she being his girlfriend.
T like.
Hey, if David Dobrik asked you to be his boyfriend, what do you
His
do?
girlfriend.
Oh,
I think his boyfriend was
Girlfriend, yeah.
the pod is all inclusive. It's okay. T, you should be his boyfriend. Yes.
I should be his boyfriend. This is 2020, damn it.
Whatever you want to do, we
He supports you 100%.
just like we're all in support of banning. Just like we're in support of the banning of TikTok, maybe not.
Huh?
So with the recent teas, just like Tina Leap are ready to throw down on the stuff.
The cameras.
But if you guys have been living under a rock or just not paying attention to what's going on, Trump has vowed. He has vowed, and he has said that he is going to ban TikTok. There's been some talks that maybe MSNBC is trying to buy TikTok, or not MSNBC, Microsoft is trying to buy TikTok. And we don't know where that leaves TikTok. Is it going to become a news platform? Is it just not going to be allowed in the US like it is in India?
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to kind of go into what happened, why this ban is kind of happening, and discuss if we think it should be banned, if we should let them stay, if we should see those renegade dances on TikTok.
Hey.
So, T, take us into the minute, renegade us into the minute. I don't know what other dances there are right now, but take us to the minute. And let's
T, for the whole minute, name off all TikTok dances, all of them.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
All right. We're going to have 1 minute to give our opinion. We'll go, who do we have with us? We'll have Who Speaks, Rod Chibs Elif. Okay? Ready?
All right.
And go.
Lil Roni, go.
So, I find it very weird that we're banning TikTok before doing a mandatory mask. Mandatory.
Period.
Yeah, so that's me. That's my
okay.
stance.
I think that it's okay that we're banning TikTok. China has banned enough U.S. platforms from the country. I think we're just repaying the favor. Keep it even. Petty Trump. Kids.
I just think this whole thing is a new way to distract. Trump never wants to talk about the problems, and this is his bright, shiny toy. So, yeah.
I like that. Roni.
So it's Rona. It's young Rona.
Young
To
Roni.
you, sir.
Hurry up.
Okay. So I'm with Chibs, but I also think that TikTok needs to go.
Oh,
I don't see, I don't know. Maybe because I don't understand stuffs. But I don't see what the big deal is, okay? If they want to look at my pictures on my phone, they can. Time's up.
Chibs. Hey.
All I'm saying is if China is very interested in my conversations with, my one friend, they can have them. It's not a big deal.
So,
Yeah,
I mean,
but it's not just about you though.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into it.
T and
I'm
Elite.
the only person on this earth that matters. So
Hey,
okay.
T and Elite are ready to go. I want to jump off of T's point because T, there have been some tech companies that have reverse engineered TikTok and have found that TikTok was using users' information, tracking where they were, seeing what apps that they were using on their phone, following the history of like what they were Googling, if they were on X, Y, and Z site or XXX sites, we don't know. So to you, are you okay with China doing this? Is this something that you co-sign just to have TikTok, or
I don't know, maybe because I'm not like an important person to the government, but like I don't really care. It's all up in the cloud anyways, if people can hack. Like there already are other platforms doing this. So I'm just like, okay, TikTok, you want to like look at my DMs, nosy asses, go for it, you know?
go for it.
Wow, that was a very Fox News question. Are you okay with China going into your privacy and stealing your information? Are you okay with that, T? Are you a TikToker?
Are you good with that? Are you good with that, bro?
you're talking as a patriot, as an American? China? So T doesn't care. She doesn't see herself as an important person, even though she got 1.1 million views.
Well, it's like, what's the government going to do with my freaking story time? Like, I don't understand. What's the Chinese government going to do with that?
But it's not just you though; it's other people. Like it's people who are actually who have access to information.
That's what I'm saying is it's not a big deal to me because I'm not important to the government.
You know what's funny?
Yeah,
You know what's funny is that the way that T is talking, and I'm not bashing her because I'm probably in more dealings with her than anything, but this is the same thing that's happening with Corona.
But it's on a different level. People are dying from COVID.
I understand that, but it's the same principles, though. It doesn't affect.
It's literally the same concept.
It's not the same. People are. This is death and my like DMs.
But this is people's privacy.
But it's
Keep
not.
going. Let them happen. Let them duke it out. Ding, ding, ding.
It's not.
Round one. Go.
People were dying because of this. I'd be like, no, shut it down. But people aren't dying. You can't compare that to Corona. You can't. Hello?
No.
Shut up. He's like, I don't know. I'm lost for words.
I'm just saying but so are you just saying that people's privacy isn't just as important? Or like the integrity of our of the national security of our country?
Well, really quick. If I could interject, sorry, I was like really my mic was kind of acting up, but I fixed it. So T, if I could present this question, because right now I do feel like we're like in a Fox News, CNN conversation where it's like those three split boxes, and there's just like everyone's going crazy. So T, I don't know.
I'm at Anderson Cooper in the middle going,
yeah, I know. Well, was like, well, Elite T does have a point, and then Elite just like the Republican, but the national security, nah. He's just going off. But one thing that I did want to present, and this happened maybe even a year ago. I'm not sure about the timeline, but do you guys remember when people had that aging app where you like take a picture of yourself and it scans you and then it makes you old, and everybody was on that app, and then it turns out that like Germany was, or this German company was using that to like use faces in ads, like in Germany.
Yeah,
it was Russia.
Yo, Russia. Sorry, my bad. So that Russia was taking those faces to like put them like on billboards and like different placements and things like that. So you had some people that were like, "That is not okay," but we signed up.
Definitely not okay.
You know, we signed up for these terms and conditions when we use that to like make it okay. So I guess to me, T, the question that I want you to answer, because I know that you're ready to go, just go off. I wanted to present that as a case study.
All I'm saying is there are other apps that do this. Not only that, but you know that TikTok is doing this. So if you don't want your stuff being exposed, then don't get the app. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not a secret. Everybody.
Yeah, but there's little ass kids on there too who don't know any better.
You should, if you're a parent, you shouldn't have your kids on there.
Well, we all know when we're kids, we do things behind our parents' back that they don't know about.
There's a way
No.
around.
No, I know, but that's
know
what
there's a
I'm saying. If you're really concerned and you don't want your stuff being looked at, then don't get the app. Like, don't. I don't know if I sound ignorant, but like I said, I'm not important to the government, so that's why I don't see it as a big deal. I don't think that I can give out secrets to China that's going to like ruin America. So that's why I don't have a problem using that app. But if I was someone of importance, of course I wouldn't be on this app. I have a friend who's, huh?
You're assuming that that someone who's important has you're just assuming that they would have the know-how of saying like, oh, I'm not having the app.
I was just going to say, my friend, I don't want to give out too many details, but they know someone that's in the military and it's in their family. So their whole family doesn't have TikTok because of this. So I'm like, I respect that. Like, I would never force someone to be on this app when clearly we know that they're taking our information.
Yeah, I guess I'm just saying you can't expect people to not be dumbasses.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Like, there's going to be dumbasses out there. There are people out there who have important information, access to certain classified materials, who are dumbasses.
You should be responsible.
We understand.
Okay, Speaks, go off. Let Speaks go in really quick.
I think that Alif does have a point.
Wusa.
Alif does have a point in the sense of like, we can't expect people to not be dumbasses. I 100% agree. However, T does make the very, 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 very valid point. Nobody's forcing you to have TikTok on your phone.
Agreed. But then there's little ass kids on there too.
Yeah, I understand. But also too, look, you're talking to somebody who I was not allowed to have a MySpace or anything else like that from like because of my parents saying so. Yet I still had one. So that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, you found a way.
Exactly.
You found a way.
But we are coming, like our generation is slowly transitioning to people being accustomed to social media and how to check for things of that nature too. People like parents, there is a way for you to make sure that your kid is not there or is not having a TikTok. You don't have to.
It's not a foolproof system. And at the end of the day,
Nothing is.
How? Whoa.
What?
But anyways, I will say as far as like espionage. I mean, like I said, there's all other apps that also tap into our information, possibly.
Yeah.
Like the most famous one everyone's talking about, Alexa. Everyone says all you need to do is like turn off the little mic. But does anyone believe that? No. And yet, everyone still has one in the room. Everyone's still talking about us around. We all know government's listening. We all know they're like stealing our privacy, and yet it keeps going up. Look, because the leader argument was that people are too dumb to like not realize the risks. But literally since the invention of these little like smart mics, that's been the number one issue, and people still buy them every time.
Yep. True.
No, I agree with you, Chibs, but at the same time, like I think the delineation is that Alexa and Amazon, Siri, all that stuff, those are all within the United States. We're not citizens of China. We don't subscribe to their.
It matters where our country is from because our privacy is our privacy. Why should it matter?
Exactly.
China, Germany.
If I could interject, I feel like I'm a leaf because I'm like, I'm playing devil's advocate. But if I could interject, I think a lot of Americans are okay with being surveilled by the U.S. government because they understand that it's for a greater good to protect ourselves.
That's what they think.
But here's the thing. And we've, as a society, as a nation, have like almost brainwashed ourselves into believing that like post 9/11, like we need to keep ourselves safe. So like doing these things will like build us a safer society. But with China, that's a foreign threat. That's a foreign threat that's like monitoring us, that's monitoring where we go. But we're also not looking at it in the same way. Like an iPhone can tell like your patterns. Oh, it takes 30 minutes to get here. It's going to take you 15 minutes to get here. Like it knows your day.
Yeah.
Like, totally okay with that. Yeah. And on the other end of that, China has banned US apps in China. So like Facebook doesn't work in China. Twitter doesn't work in China. So like to Alif's point, why is it okay that China's able to ban those apps? Because they're afraid of the US surveilling into China, but we're supposed to be okay with China surveilling the US. I don't know who wants to answer that.
Wait, can you say that again?
So, quick Spark Note
It's a
version.
higher level.
Yeah, quick
Quick
Spark Note of what he said. China bans U.S. apps because they're fearful for U.S.
Surveillance.
information on them. Why can't we just ban Chinese apps if we're fearful for the same reason?
And if it's, and I'm not saying, and I'm just saying if it's already been proven, like TikTok in this case, that they have been surveilling U.S. citizens without our knowledge.
Mm-hmm. So the thing is that I may be alone here. I'm not really okay with the U.S. surveilling my personal things, to be honest.
Agreed.
But unfortunately, in the time that we're in and how far along technology is, it's just something that's just like we kind of know already.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I mean, it's kind of too late also because you have a social security number.
Okay, well that too, but like, yeah, it's just in general, like there's not much we can do about it. It's already integrated into our society. There's nothing I can do about that. Same thing with the foreign policy. Like for somebody that's foreign over there, I'm kind of in the boat where like I'm just a regular person, so the information that they can get off of me is not necessarily going to be that helpful. So I'm not going to even really be on their radar. The people that are having these issues and the people like Elise said, are the people in positions of power that are having these things. But if you're in a position where you know that you have valuable information and you know how the things work, why are you putting yourself in a position for that?
Mm-hmm.
No, you're right, Brian. I mean, Speaks, you're right about that, Speaks, but then you just can't count on people being able to make smart decisions. You got to assume there are fucking dumbasses out there.
I understand, but those people that you're talking about, where they're the people that have the access to the valuable information, they already know that. I am not expecting those people to be dumbasses because if they got told that valuable information, they clearly displayed that they are not dumbasses.
Yeah, Chibs had something to add, and then we can go to
that was literally the exact thing I was going to say.
Okay. And then T,
yeah,
what did you
pretty
want?
much because I know I forgot who said it, but someone said like, oh, it was T because they're working in the military, they don't have TikTok. This was before the TikTok ban.
Mm-hmm.
Before it was a big thing. Military, it would be advised not to use it because it's a Chinese company.
Exactly.
And so obviously they're making smart decisions. As one of us, we have TikTok. I mean, they can take all information, like, how that served them. But of course, if you're someone from like a higher personnel, of course, that sensitive information is valuable. So you have to make smart decisions, like not having an app from a different country.
Yeah.
So I mean, I feel like it's all up. It's all up to the person. I feel let's go back to what T is saying. Because kind of like if you know the threats, I guess, then you have to make a smart decision about it. But also, kind of going back to what Roz said, I also feel like it's as far as why it should be a tit for tat. They ban Facebook, maybe should ban TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I suppose we can go like back and forth, but also like China is kind of like quasi-authoritarian, so there's a lot of like values that we don't share, I guess, and that's kind of like the reason why we allow TikTok here in the first place is because we have a philosophy of like freedom and like I'm on my little patriot hat, but America's all about freedom, democracy, and so being able to like come into this country and like flourish is kind of like what we're all about, and so we just start shutting down like all perceived threats. Like this isn't even confirmed. These are all just perceived that we think that China might use the app maybe to get our information. Nothing's been truly confirmed. So right now we're just basing all our actions out of fear. Same with China, because there's no proof that Facebook you can hack a government agency through Facebook. Is that even possible? But that's what China feels.
However, for Facebook and stuff like that, they did. I mean, Facebook, Twitter, they terrorist groups and stuff like that do use that as a form of recruitment and organization too. So
Twitter as well.
Yeah, so I understand.
But I feel like that's a little different because they're saying that like we can use Facebook to survey or spy.
I understand that. And we're also getting to the point where it's like people are talking about blaming and using fear tactics, because my thing is like, okay, so you guys are concerned with things that this app that China owns and they can possibly get our information, yet almost everything that we have in the U.S. is made in China somehow, some way.
Of course.
So you like,
and that's, but this is the thing, and this is where I feel like it's kind of backfiring on us because we have such a lopsided trade agreement with China where we take everything from China. Like we need their exports for the U.S. to survive. And that was kind of like one of the big things that Trump had originally ran on was that, we're going to make things in the U.S. and we're going to bring back coal and we're going to do all these things that hasn't really transpired yet.
Yeah, everybody. Every U.S. president has said that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying and why I say that this is a security risk to the U.S. is, and I understand like, hey, nothing's happened yet, but on top of them just, taking your information, they could open up credit cards in like kids' names that are on TikTok and like start them off with, bad credit. Like there's a lot of things that could happen to these people that could potentially, put them in a dangerous situation. But T, you wanted to add something?
Yeah. No, because Chips was saying how none of this has been officially confirmed. So on TikTok, there's this whole conspiracy because I've seen some videos of people exposing the government and like some really crazy things with evidence and files that they found and like all this crazy stuff. And I don't know if you remember, but a huge portion of Gen Z, like they bullied Trump. And so there was like this rally that they all bought tickets to and no one showed up to.
The Oklahoma one, Tulsa.
Yeah. So Trump isn't a fan of it because he's getting bullied on there. Not only that, but a lot of things are being exposed and we have so much freedom of speech there. It's like Twitter. Like people will just post whatever and there's no like filter. So a lot of people are saying it's kind of Trump is doing it out of fear too and like frustration. Like, oh, you guys are going to like try and bully me and expose us. Like we're going to shut down, Well,
they're trying to shut down a lot of social media too. Trump's not a big fan of Twitter. He's not a big fan.
He's on Twitter all the time, but
how's he not? That's funny.
I don't buy into him doing it just because of the Tulsa thing. I mean, it would be incredibly petty. I wouldn't be shocked.
I was gonna say, are we not shocked that this president is petty?
It would not shock me. It would not shock me. But I'll tell you why I don't think that that's the main reason why TikTok's getting shut down. This has been in talks since before the Tulsa rally. Like this idea, because engineers had already been like, reverse engineering the app and finding it out. India had banned it before the Tulsa rally. And once India banned it, other countries looked into it and said, well, why did India ban this? Like, why? Like, what's going on? What is China doing? Because India considered...
just super quick, just interject. There was a small little scuffle between the India and China right before they did that.
There was. Maybe that was like part of it that they were like, nah, no TikTok. No TikTok for the people. But it was before the Tulsa thing that this had been going down with the U.S. and the U.S. has been investigating.
Yeah, but TikTok has been exposing the government.
But so does Twitter. I mean, so does Facebook. I think that there are more crazy conspiracies than maybe like the TikTok one. Like, in that you can go like into a whole... Oh my God! We don't need to go into that.
Yeah, I mean,
on dark web.
Also, it's like I just think like you guys said earlier, it's not about you or just us. It's about like everyone.
Yeah, I understand.
Everyone like coronavirus. Wear your masks. You're not wearing it, or you're not wearing it for yourself. You're wearing it for everyone else.
But people are dying because of coronavirus.
Yeah, and people's privacy is also important too. Like you have the right to privacy.
I don't know.
Okay, so T, let me give you a scenario. Let's just say through TikTok, and I'm speaking from experience, not me personally, but this is something that had happened to someone that I know, to a company. But they had been hacked because they had downloaded, I forgot what it was, but it was some software that was supposed to help them with, inventory, stuff like that. But they had gotten hacked by China, and China had emailed them through like another Chinese factory. Hey, we're looking for this invoice, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Like, these are new employees working for us, and had taken like, I think it was like $3 million away from the company through like fake invoices. So if something like that were to happen to you, if someone were to, take money from your checking account, open up a ton of credit cards in your name and just like use them, would you have that same view of like, well, that's my fault, I shouldn't have been on TikTok? Or would you be more like, dude, this sucks, like this could be happening to more people, we need to have like look at this overall? But
I think
what's your
people
opinion?
need to understand the risk for sure. And you have to be okay with your information being taken.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think you have to understand the risk.
Now, this is like an extreme. This is like an extreme scenario.
More extreme than losing money.
No, more like really extreme. Well, I'm just gonna put it this way because it's still a possibility. Like, imagine China uses this information that they've been surveilling us on, right, to figure out a way to infiltrate the fabric of our country, and therefore, since they are a communist country, they implement communism or socialist ideas in America, and therefore, I know I sound like I have my tinfoil hat on, but then like,
where my country going?
Yeah, real shit.
The reason we gotta ban TikTok is because it's gonna become communism.
Yeah, and there goes capitalism. How do you expect to make money off of TikTok anymore or anything?
They're gonna take Dale Earnhardt Jr. away from NASCAR. I think that one's. That theory is way out of fear. I think that one's way. I think that goes back to what Chip said about like
that one's outlandish. I admit that.
Because look, I think that there's good risks with, and I think that kind of ties into what Chibs was saying, because when you have domestic surveillance, you're really looking for anyone in the U.S. who could be, planning an attack, or outside attackers infiltrating the U.S. Because I'm not saying it's 100%, but through surveillance, they have found a couple people who have been like planning school shootings or planned stuff like that they were able to stop. One of the cases was on the 10th anniversary of Columbine. This like Columbine enthusiast was going to go down to the school and like reenact Columbine. But through her Google searches and through that surveillance, they were able to like stop her and cut her off before that happened. So I think
people don't know that there are safeguards involved with surveillance.
Of course. But what I'm saying is that, hey, like all of us are looking at this and thinking, oh, well, what did the U.S. want to have to do with us? Like, they're not really doing it for 90% of the population who follow along do good. They're doing it for the 10% who may be trying to do bad. And I think that, Alif, what you said was more just like kind of out of this like American fear that an outside power is going to come and like brainwash us into like communism, which I think is not really the point. But I think
I admit it was a bit extreme. I admit that it's really out there. It's really out there. I know that. But I'm just saying it's not.
Wait, say it again.
I'm just saying, like, I know it's an extreme perspective, but then like I wouldn't put it past them.
So do you think? Okay, well that leads me to my next question for everyone. We can start with T, Chibs, Speaks, and go to Alif. If somehow China were to infiltrate the young minds of TikTok and to push a communist socialist agenda to the youth, do you think that would work? Do you think that the youth would, accept that information like sponges and just destroy the whole American way of life?
I think there's too many old people in power for that to happen.
Old money.
Yeah. Like,
but also 40 years from now? Like,
I mean, anything is possible, but I'm just like, huh? You know what I mean? That sounds a little bit.
No, like, I guess, like, my point is, like, what if now you start using TikTok, and all of a sudden, in order to use TikTok, you have to put your social security number in there.
He's doing the renegade communism dance.
No, seriously. Like if TikTok started asking for your social security number, are you going to put it?
No.
Well, of course not. Like, what do you?
So that's what I'm trying to say. Like,
do you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to understand the risk. If you're putting your social security number into TikTok, then you have to understand that risk.
What's your social security?
Yeah, that's an extreme. But Chibs, answer the question. Do you think that one, China's capable, and if they were able to pull it off, that it would eradicate the whole American dream and the American way of life?
No.
No.
Speaks.
So for one, no, I don't think it would work. But I think we're also moving towards a more progressive way of or trying to a little bit. I think that's one of the reasons too why there's probably so much pushback. I think I don't think it's completely oh, this is in the best interest of the country. I think a lot of that is also like them coming for social media because there's a lot of things that people can say on there that are not necessarily probably government approved or maybe too close to the truth or saying something along those lines. And Trump also doesn't like being bullied.
Yeah, that's also true. T?
I also want to say, Alif, I don't think you understand. Like, I just don't see how to influence.
And he's in here like,
Alif.
I think you understand.
Yeah.
So the videos that you see, like, I'm not going to get a bunch of communist videos because that's not how the algorithm works. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm only seeing American people on there.
Someone play the Soviet theme song in the background right now.
Let's
take a knee for the national anthem.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what I'm talking about is specifically honestly, what my main concern is what Rod mentioned earlier about India and Switzerland being able to reverse engineer. Oh, Sweden. I'm sorry, Sweden being able to reverse engineer these apps and discover that these apps are able to surveillance your activity on your phones without you using the app. That is concerning to me.
To do that though,
and I think
there's other apps that do that. Like it's not just the Chinese government that we should be scared of. Like there's other.
Also be scared of our own.
But I think the only thing with
but we
TikTok
live
versus
in
other apps is that kind of like how we touched
America. Jesus Christ!
This is America. Only we can surveillance each other. Surveillance.
Yeah, and again, like also what Rod said, like China does not allow these American apps in their country. It does not allow the United States to surveillance their citizens. Why should we give them the opportunity and the power to do that to us?
Isn't that kind of like
America?
Isn't that kind of similar to like the Cold War? Well, we can't let them build up our forces, so let's build up our forces. Oh, we can't let them get ahead. Let them isn't it kind of like
Speaks brought up the Cold War?
Well, we don't want to go ahead and we don't want them to get ahead, so we got to go do this. We got to go do this. It
sounds petty as fuck to me. I'm sorry.
Well, how about this? Alif? Alif, I have a question. Alif, I have a question. If Microsoft was able to buy TikTok, an American-owned company, they just snatched it out of China's hands and said, this is ours now. We're going to make money in the U.S. And hey, U.S. citizens, you don't have to worry about China surveilling you because we're going to do it. Would you be
so
okay?
So everything is owned and operated by Microsoft in the United States.
Yeah.
That works on me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure Microsoft outsources to India as well, but
exactly.
So nothing is outsourced to China. China is not involved in it at all in any way.
Yeah, let's say that's the case.
Okay, then I'd be for that.
Is it just?
I mean, I understand. I understand that. I understand your point of view of saying that there are other apps that do that. But then we kind of subscribe to that narrative because we are American citizens and we choose to do that. We know that's going on, but then we're not Chinese citizens. We don't subscribe to that.
What happens if it was going to somebody that we had maybe a better relationship with?
Is it just China that you're scared of? I don't understand. Because our information is being given to other countries regardless.
Well, yeah, through Facebook, through Twitter, anytime we sign up for a newsletter, that information's being sold off to different companies.
Is it just China that you're so scared of, Alif?
China.
Well, I wouldn't say, and here's the thing, and here's what I'll say, China. I wouldn't say that Alif's fear, I think Alif's fear comes from the unknown, wondering what China would do with that information and why they would surveil, why they would be surveilling U.S. citizens. I can agree with that. I can agree.
Yeah, because other countries. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, Rod. Because on top of that, other countries that we share information to are American allies.
So that makes it okay.
I'm not saying that makes it okay, but we're so intertwined with each other that I'm not saying that nothing's gonna happen, but then we have these alliances and these treaties with other countries that like the likeliness of something happening is pretty minimal compared to something with China. We don't have,
but
like our relationship with China is like hanging by us like a pinky, you know?
Yeah.
On the thread.
Right now, currently.
No, it's been since
it's been a while.
It's been like that for decades.
Oh, gotcha.
But the thing is, we rely
that's
so
why.
much on China. And I will say that I think this also is almost like insecurity of the U.S. to like remain a top power, because China's coming up. We can't deny that. We literally cater ourselves to China.
Yeah, and on top of that,
if we said something bad about this podcast about China, we would never be allowed in China. Like people. China. Like put it to you this way. Put it to you this way. Remember when the protests were going on? The NBA didn't say a word, not one word about China, because they understand how big the market is in China. So they don't want to mess with it. They don't like South Park got banned from China because they said that the president of China looks like Winnie the Pooh. Like people will go to jail.
Well,
if you compare the Chinese president to Winnie the Pooh, you will go to jail. Like this is like the power that it exercises. And I think that right now the US is saying, okay, if China is trying to be the top dog, if we're in the number one spot and China's coming after that number one seed, that first round bye, and they're on top of that surveilling US citizens, like we got to find something to knock them off.
I
like,
hate
can't
this
be having
power
everything.
trip thing though. Like, dude, I don't know. Maybe
we're men. We have egos, T.
The US or something.
For real, honestly.
Like I think that's why you gotta understand why it exists. I'm not saying it's okay that it exists, but there's a reason why it exists. And like as Rod pointed out, China for decades has been trying to top the United States. Like,
so what if
I don't, and that's why I don't think it's far behind them to use if they were going to use information that they've found on us through surveillance to their advantage.
I have a question. What, like, I guess I don't understand this whole power trip of like we have to be. I mean, I get it. Everyone wants to be the best, but
you got to read history.
The U.S. has always been the big like.
The big cojones. Yeah,
the
big
Lebowski. I don't understand like this.
Drop big kahuna.
Well,
drop two atomic bombs. Never lost.
Undefeated in world wars. Well, part of the fear, and this kind of goes to a Leafs talking point, which I think that it's very out there, but what a lot of people are afraid of. The U.S., since it's a top dog, has a tendency to involve itself in foreign affairs that it doesn't need to involve itself in. So the U.S.
But on top of that, by the way,
U.S. also
the
U.S. also has a history in trying to implement diplomacy in places that may not want diplomacy or may fight back against whatever the U.S. is trying to implement. Now, what the U.S. is afraid of with China, and I'm not saying this is fact, but I'm going based off of Leaf's point and what he was saying.
Third eye.
If China had become a top power, if China was the top dog, what's stopping them from coming to the U.S. and saying, you know what, we're just going to like run it this way now. And this is how it is because we're China. What are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do? And they're like pushing Trump, like, what? Like, you can't do nothing. like, but that's what a lot of
man. I don't understand.
But that's what a lot of people are afraid of because the U.S. has done that for such a long time.
That's why we're
better for worse. For better for worse is up to whatever you believe in. But that's what a lot of people are afraid of.
It's like, here's the thing. It's like I get it, I understand it, but then I also don't get it. If that makes sense.
You gotta read history, dude.
No, she understands what we're talking about. However, she doesn't understand why there's such a big dick measuring contest between people.
It's the way of the world.
That's what I meant. That's why I said read history.
That's what I'm saying.
There's
I get
a huge history behind it.
That's what I'm saying. Is I get it, but I don't get it at the same time.
Because men run the world, T. It's a dick measuring contest. That's all it is.
I mean, all this started. I mean, you gotta understand. Like all this is the result of post World War II. after the fall of Germany, and then the United States and Russia, Cold War, and China is a product of the Cold War because of Russia. Like that's
like I said, I
that's just-
get it, but at the same time, like there's this whole thing that
Mussolini scene.
Hmm.
So,
In any case, just want to give like your final thoughts on this.
yeah.
Hey,
Chiz,
so,
go first.
TikTok, right? That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, it got into
Yes.
That's
So
a
Chibs,
there.
So Chibs, go off with your final thoughts and let's wrap this up.
To be honest, I feel this conversation was kind of enlightening. Everyone threw us down some real good points on both sides. I do believe as Americans we get the freedom, the democracy. You get to like choose what we want, even if we know the risks. But at the same time, maybe the risks outweigh the reward, and well, what is happening? And so we also gotta look out for each other because everyone's safety can also be tied to our safety. So yeah, I guess the only thing I can say is that get educated and make smart decisions.
Hey, okay, T, go off.
I definitely feel like people need to be cautious and understand the risks of things. And of course, if you're a person of power or have information to do important things, then yeah, no. But I think if you are okay with it and there's no risk, like no big risk to the government, then I think it's okay.
Okay, speaks.
Personally, I get both sides, so I kind of like will just. I guess you can say I kind of shifted a little bit to a more neutral phase of like, okay, I understand more sides about why it's being banned. However, in my own selfish way, I don't see the point. Like, TikTok is pretty funny, and I would like for it to stay.
I think that if TikTok went away, it's an opportunity for another app like TikTok to be based in the United States to come up. So, like, it's not really the end of something like TikTok. And I just don't think you can bank on somebody or people to make the right decision. I think that would be kind of naive to bank on, especially even if it's a person of in a position, advantageous position with knowledge, to bank on like, oh yeah, we're just going to assume that they're going to make the right decision. I think that's.
Are you saying that you don't trust Americans? Are you saying America is number 2 league?
Is that what you're saying, bro?
What?
I'm just saying,
trust,
but there's no guarantee. You can't. I'm just saying, there's no guarantee. I'm not gonna bank on that.
Heard. Okay. And then for me, my closing statements. I think that. I'm pretty much in the middle. I wouldn't say I'm here nor there. If they did ban it, I would understand. But I do think that the U.S. being as capitalistic as it is, that you'll see that buyout from Microsoft sooner rather than later, and it's going to be for a stupid price. If not, I think you'll just find ways to adapt. But yeah, that's where I stand. But I think that everyone made some good points. I think that we had some good, arguments, some back and forth. But yes, everyone needs to be aware of like the terms and conditions and like what you're signing on to do before you sign on and do it. Before your face is in an ad in Russia. Read the fine print. Always. So with that being said, thank you guys again for listening. We appreciate y'all. Y'all are the best. Let us know what you think. We'll put up a story the week that this episode is coming out, whether TikTok should be banned or not, whether the U.S. should take a stronger stance, whether we just don't care in general. So thank you guys again. We appreciate y'all for listening. And that's it for us this week. We'll catch you next week. Peace out. Stay safe. Stay Rona free.
Bye.
Peace.
Young Rona out.
Young Rona. Peace.
Shout out Millennial.